underworld infiltrator engineer or supercilious storyteller? Who was Phil Schneider, the secret alien war exposer? Alien war exposer? Ray Casper, go ahead. Let's hear it.
Hey, Chico, you're running out of alliterations.
Anything else?
Andreas, I know you have some stupid reason on telling the viewing audience here on the AM that your crummy little show is a bit of Satire Theatre, but no one knows what the hell that even means.
Lighthearted, slightly comedic. That's what it means. Not too serious.
Andreas, you're so stupid. The only thing that is slightly comedic is what you got shriveled up in your slacks.
What's the matter with you?
Hey, suck on it, Jumbo.
So, Ray is really losing it.
He never had it.
1979. Where were you? Where were you? Where were you? Where were you? Sure. I was on a turbulent trek in search of a hibernating javelina. Barely survived. Barely made it out alive. How about you?
I was playing with an airplane and having it take off.
You were playing with an
Airplane.
airplane.
Yes, an airplane.
An airplane.
An airplane that flies.
Remote control airplane?
Yep.
Oh, you were? It was remote control?
I think so.
Okay. 1979? All right. And where were you, Grimmhauser?
Oh, well, I was dazed and confused, just generally getting around as, an alternate kind of spirit.
Lost in thought. Okay.
Dazed and confused.
There we are. So, 1979, one explosives engineer named Philip Schneider, he assisted in the construction of the Dulce, New Mexico underground base. And the best way to tell this story is it was in 1995 that Phil Schneider publicly spoke and was giving lectures on what happened in 1979 about how he was contracted by the U.S. government to help drill and construct an underground base and secret tunnel cavern connective structures, and the machinery mysteriously just stopped working for no reason. And they sent the engineer, explosives technician Philip Schneider down into the catacombs of the drilling, and he was accompanied by his bodyguard, a Green Beret. And they, soon as they entered the tunnel, they came across a very foul smell, a very pungent odor, accompanied by a gaseous mist in the air. And from the darkness emerged a 7-foot tall, you guessed it, gray alien, but a 7-foot tall one, so not one of those little runts. No, not one of those.
Not one of the little cute ones, huh?
Yeah, so 7-foot tall. And Philip Schneider was armed with a sidearm, and I'm not quite sure why they would issue or allow a explosive engineer to have a sidearm, but
I wouldn't.
Yeah, and obviously the U.S. government knew something smelled, something was up. So they, this alien approached them, and Philip Schneider fired his gun and supposedly killed it. His pistol and killed it. And moments later, another alien came into the forefront, and with his plasma-styled weapon, shot Philip Schneider, opened him up, as he said, like a fish.
One of them did this. All I remember is that he just kind of waved his hand in front of his chest, and the next thing I know, this blue beam hit me and just literally opened me up like a fish. And burnt my fingers right off of me. And it was some form of electrical force, because the kind of like being hit by a lightning bolt burned all my toenails off of me. Completely crispy crittered my left foot. Burnt the shoe right off of me. All I remember is the smoking remains, and I'm still conscious, but in and out of, I didn't remember much.
And that's when he would give his lectures, he actually specifically said that he was opened up like a fish. And right now, I wish I had a girl in Philadelphia joke, but, you know.
Insert girl in Philadelphia joke. Okay.
Exactly.
I thought you were going to mention her with the foul odor smelling.
Yeah. Fish, it was all there for you, man.
I know, I saw. Drat, spoiled again. Would have got away with it, wasn't for those pesky kids. Not only did it open him up like a fish, but a plasma weapon, he lost 2 or 3 of his fingers on his left hand, burned his shoes off, burned a couple of his little toesies off. He even supposedly contracted cancer from the radiation from the underground alien war battle that ensued. And so, the Green Beret, in proper Green Beret fashion, huddled up Schneider in his state and put him into the lift, pressed the button, and sent him to the surface. The Green Beret did not make it. So, yeah, it's a very compelling story, and we'll get into this. So, he described in his lectures, Philip Schneider, that the alien made a circular motion and with his hand, and this initiated the plasma experience that.
Wait, you're saying he didn't have a gun? He did it out of his hand?
Well, no, he said he had a weapon of some sort, but the way Philip Schneider, he was on a lecture circuit almost in the mid-90s, and he would describe it, and every time that he would describe it, there was a little
discrepancy?
Yeah, discrepancy, but then again, exactly. Yeah, speaking of, yeah, so anyway, he would on his lecture circuit, he would show his gimpy hand, and he showed
explosives.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, and the scar running down his torso, and like I said, the Green Beret lost his life in this, and that's very admirable if it's a true story. It was a fierce battle that was subterranean battle that was fought that over 60 humans, I assume soldiers, when they say humans, were left dead. And supposedly this war still rages to this day. However, there is the theory was, and this was put forth by Herr Schneider, that the aliens eventually made a peace pact of sorts, an uneasy peace with the humans, and were trading technology for not only peace but for permission to take other humans to use as a food resource, not to eat the flesh, but rather to use the adrenaline and some of the other secretions, you know.
Do the humans survive that process?
No, I think not. And the only stipulation was that they had to give a list of the people that they were going to, the aliens were going to take. Well, they didn't eat them. They used their bodily fluids.
But they still killed them.
Yeah. They still killed him, yes. And the thing about it is, we'll talk about Paul Binowitz here in a bit, but Paul Binowitz, he was he had a PhD in physics, and he was a proponent of this theory as well. He he had been reporting, or declaring rather, that all kinds of things were going on in that Dulce area, and cattle mutilations were running amok. And he had detected transmissions that were coming from underground, and a very interesting sort of fellow. And he, like you were saying, Madeleine, he was also reporting to some of the higher ups at the base, and he was eventually removed from the base because they accused him of being a whack job, and he got locked up in the loony bin.
I'm on their side.
Maybe he's
We might have been responsible.
and he is passed, and he perhaps he had something in relation with Ray Casper, your friend, but that's a different story. So, like I said, 60 people, soldiers perhaps, died that day. The other 2 remaining survivors are supposedly living in nursing homes in Canada, relocated, protected by the Canadian government. And this way, so no American citizen or government agency or agents are allowed to access them. And they're obviously scared of becoming unalived or kidnapped. So supposedly, even in 1995, this war in Dulce, underground base, had been going on long enough, and that similar wars, according to Phil Schneider, have been going on across the globe and other underground bases. 130, I've heard 129, 130, 131 underground bases, alien bases exist in the continental United States. That's a lot, and there's a deep tunnel network supposedly that runs. So, like I said, an easy truth, but guess what? Isn't this always the way? As loony as this sounds, when Herr Schneider would give his lectures, he would always say, I am not suicidal. I'm not going to kill myself. I'm ill, but I am not going to kill myself and unalive myself for for YouTube's sake. 1996, he was found dead in his apartment.
He crossed himself off the census, you're saying?
There, he crossed himself off the census indeed. And for anyone from the upper echelon of census authorities, I refuse to be involved in the census. Refuse. Been threatened too. Refuse. But
I was never invited.
So, Philip Schneider also had said that he had gotten into a firefight with a federal officer, FBI officer, and he had killed one of them, and he even informed the FBI about it, and they said they had no knowledge of the officer, they had no knowledge of the event, and they left him alone because they were going to come get him. Or somebody was going to come get him. I think probably an agency that does not have 3 letters in its name, but that's a different story. So he was found in his apartment. There was blood on the floor, but there was no signs of a wound where the blood could have come from, so I'm assuming he coughed it up. Very odd. He had a medical tube tied around his neck in a tiny little knot. And he was wheelchair bound, or at least he was in a wheelchair, and he was found, think about this, in a position that was very unseemly for his afflictions. So it was tied around his neck, his head was on the wheelchair, his feet were stuffed underneath the bed in a really peculiar fashion. And it was ruled unaliving by his own hands. And the case was closed, and because nobody wanted to investigate it for obvious reasons, and that was that. It was an unaliving. That's that. The end.
Dude Caspered himself.
So, yeah, and then they seized all of his documents, which ended up disappearing. Coroner's report, I think, ended up disappearing. So, and it was impossible in his state. He was cancer ridden. He had a bad. He had a hand with what, 2 fingers on, 3 fingers, maybe a thumb. I don't. You'll see in the little video.
He was not a very good ordnance technician.
Yeah, exactly. And there's no way he could have. They say the skeptics of his death that he could have done that, but all of his personal documents disappeared. Some blatant untruths was Herr Schneider said that his father was part of the Manhattan Project, and also that he was a German U-boat captain, which turned out not to be true because his father, Otto Schneider, was born in San Francisco in in 1908 or something, or 1906. So those were proven untrue. But Paul Benowitz, PhD, who spoke on the cow mutilations.
He was a successful businessman. He had contracts with the U.S. government, so he seemed like he'd be a credible person. Unless he truly just went crazy.
Yeah, Paul Benowitz. But anyway, on this, we could actually do another show just about Paul Benowitz. Yeah, in some ways he's even more convincing, and there's more layers to that story. But yeah, I don't know. What do we think? True tale of festering fable? What says you?
Oh, me?
Yeah, well, either one.
So the facts are everywhere on this one. And just the whole description of being hit with a plasma weapon and open like a fish, but losing toes and fingers and all these random parts instead of them being just burnt off, or him just being immolated completely by the plasma. There's just a lot of little elements that don't fit up for me in this one. Also, going from 2 guys going down an elevator to 60 people being down there after like a few minutes, I was just like, okay, this guy's story is really inconsistent. I'm gonna have to go double thumbs down, festering. This one is in the swamp.
All right. What says you, Madeleine M?
I say festering fable for the most part. I think there's some truth in there, but for the most part, festering fable.
The only truth in there was his name.
All right, I have to actually on this one say 90% true tale. What? I know.
I'm a true believer over here.
And it's not that I've heard a lot of the contradictions to, but it's like, if I'll speak to the audience of men who are a certain age and would like to go out and like to in our when we were in our 30s, let's say, or late 20s, 30s, or we'd like to go out and we would go to a nice pub or a nice lounge and we'd be having some drinks. There would be some women. Who of us has not taken a story which is true and added to it and say we had to do a lecture circuit and add to it? I believe some basics of this story are very believable. They are true, and I believe everything from the Benowitz cattle mutilations to something happened with Phil Schneider because the agencies went out of their way to erase so much. It's the same with the Bob Lazar, and I 99.9% believe everything Bob Lazar said. If there is an error with Bob Lazar, that is in his retelling of his accounts, that's just a product of time. So, and we should really do Bob Lazar. Yeah, brilliant man. Even the way they try to smear him and erase him from his scholastic records is just unbelievable. But no, I actually really do believe that something happened with Philip Schneider, and he just embellished, and you're in front of a crowd, and you get on a roll, and maybe there was a couple honeys he was trying to impress sitting in the front row, but I have to say true tale. Sorry.
You want to believe that the honeys show up at those kind of things? I think not, sir.
Well, you're probably.
I call festering fable on that.
You're probably right. The ufology community is a interesting bunch. I should say, but no, you're probably right.
Have you ever been to like the Area 51 cons like in Nevada? Because
Nope, but I've seen them.
yeah, don't do it.
I can't see.
Interesting.
It looks interesting for 15.
15,
20
20 minutes?
minutes?
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah,
That's
they-
about like any kind of con situation you could think of.
Yeah, man. So I have to say I'm so sorry. True tale. Mostly, yes, exactly.
It hurts me just to hear that.
Exactly. And so aside from that,
Could just be like where some of it is truths, but it's also a lot of what was fed to him. Because with Paul, he was fed information from our government to basically say there is UFOs because he caught on to our early drones testing.
oh, there we are.
That's a
and
theory.
also there was a Richard Doty. We'll talk about Richard Doty one day, who might have been feeding misinformation too. I'm a fan of the misinformation. But yeah, okay, all right, good thing. All right, so now that we've established that, something else we need to establish, and if you're into psychological horror gaming, we have, yes, you guessed it, Grimmhauser's Gaming Guide. What says you, Grimmhauser?
So let's talk about Still Wakes the Deep. This is a story about this guy Kaz who gets into a bar fight with another guy, like a friend of his, I think, in Scotland, and beats him pretty badly. And his response to this whole situation, did he stay and let the law deal with it? No. He ran off to an oil rig, leaving his wife and child behind to try to escape punishment. Stand-up guy. So anyway, Kaz is at this oil rig through a hookup from a diabetic friend. Figure that one out. And, well, everything starts off pretty normal. You have a job. You're an electrician on an oil rig. Okay. You kind of half-ass know what you're doing. All right. But then you go up to see your boss, this crotchety old dude who's just pissed off at everything around him, and he fires you because he finds out about, you guessed it, the problem back on the mainland. So just before you're about to get on that helicopter back to the mainland and face justice, the unthinkable happens. The oil rig has kind of like this localized earthquake, and a bunch of people fall into the water, get deep sixed, and only Kaz seems to survive it. Weird. So after being nursed back to health from his hypothermic state, he notices...
Who nursed him?
Oh, his buddy.
Oh, okay.
No, it's all guys there. All guys.
Not the rig's nurse.
The rig's nurse is a dude, and he.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not that kind. It's not that kind of story, guys. Sorry.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a sausage fest. Anyway, so Kaz gets back up. He feels more or less normal, but something's wrong because half the people on the rig are suddenly gone after he woke up like a few hours later. Half the people on the rig are gone. And he's starting to notice these weird organic growths on the side of the walls. And some of these growths seem to have faces. Yeah. It's not long until, he thinks that it's just some sort of organic growth. He thinks it's like coral or some other randomness. And throughout the game, you follow Kaz as he slowly learns that he's not crazy and what he's seeing is more than coral. And he learns that there is something at the base of the oil rig controlling all of it and changing the people around him. That's all you get. Take it from there. Still Wakes the Deep is like on every platform you can think of. And it is a great story. Not combat, it is a stealth-oriented game, but in all the right ways.
That is so funny that because you sent me some images, some still images, and then the Wikipedia on it. Yeah. So I went and I actually looked up Still Wakes the Deep. Still Wakes the Deep, and I looked it up on YouTube on one of those Still Wakes the Deep Explained, and just a lot of depth and layers. God. How long did they spend designing that game?
Years.
Oh my
I don't even know.
Oh my God.
It's because the people who put in time for this game, they cared.
Yeah.
They wanted to tell a story, and they told the damn story, and I was blown away. Like, I mean, there are very few games in the horror genre where you don't end up fighting or trying to like it's survival horror.
Yeah.
But this one, just getting through the story in itself was the horror. Learning the secret of what's at the bottom of that oil rig is the horror. Oh.
Don't you answer me back!
You're fired.
Jesus, Gregor! Gregor!
Okay, so I'm going to ask the audience, the viewing audience, as Ray Casper says here on the AM. I'm not even really sure what that means. To join us as I make my adolescent evolution into even learning about modern video games and how they operate and work.
Great, still wakes this
I
dipshit.
downloaded Stream and I try to play some of the free stuff, but I require assistant like I'm a.
And you're gonna ask this guy? He's fucking 100.
No, I'm not going to ask him.
Oh.
I'm going to ask you, though.
Oh,
I'm just saying. I feel like Ray Casper not realizing how technology works. But you know what I know? I know something else that works. A delicious breakfast.
Oh?
Not necessarily nutritious, but a delicious breakfast.
Tell me.
And I like to, every now and again, take myself back to a younger, purer time when I was a child, and I would reach for, out of the cupboard, that delicious ensemble. And if I was lucky and I lucked out and I grabbed it when my mother was shopping without her knowledge, and I bypassed the shredded wheats, not to sound too loopy, but I would grab Fruit Loops. Fruit Loops. Do you remember Fruit Loops? What says you, Grimmhauser?
Look, let me tell you, people. I followed my heart and my nose to find this cereal. Oh God! And Toucan Sam, he never disappointed.
Never disappointed. Yes.
Yes.
What says you, Madeleine? Funny.
Empty.
No,
Oh. Yeah, I just ate it.
funny thing about that. Yes.
Might still be your go-to.
Oh yeah.
I know it. It even smells like red dye cancer. Hey, Casper here for delicious Fruit Loops. The best way to start your morning off right. Just follow your nose like Toucan Sam here. But don't follow your nose if you want to use the can after Grimmhauser. Holy Jesus. Anyway,
The best kind of smell.
Exactly. All right. Speaking of Fruit Loops, Ray Casper.
Damn it.
Yeah, he was so rude. He was so unbelievably rude in the intro. He's supposed to be rude as part of the show. It's funny, but so, I get home from work. I'm tired. And he just keeps on you. This guy. Anyway, all right, Ray, go ahead. Thank you for waiting.
Andreas? Who the hell are you trying to fool? The box of cereals is empty. You just couldn't help yourself, could you, Jumbo? You ate that entire box of cereal as soon as you got home. You probably ate it in your car on the way home. You're trying to pull one off. I go to all this effort to do a fantastic commercial bit. You eat the whole goddamn box. You, Grimmhauser. This morning when I curled out one in the can, it looked just like you. Hold on.
Hello?
Someone knocking at the door. Hold on. Someone at the door. Be quiet.
Ray?
I see who it is. There's someone knocking. Who's knocking at my goddamn door?
Is he having a lucid moment?
Is that Mabel's sister? No. Who is this? Andreas, I gotta go. I'll call you later. I gotta go. Someone at the door. And one more thing. Stop eating so much lard ass. I'll call you back.
Nevermore, motherfucker.
What is going on? I'm curious now.
I'm
I
not.
want to go knock at his door.
No, I don't know. The guy lives on the other side of the country. Oh, I wonder what that's about. I hope he calls back.
That's par for the course.
That was odd.
Was it?
Well, he's on the show every week, and that's never happened. I assume that he gets no visitors.
I would hope so.
Yeah, anyway, so conclusionary wrap up. Paul Benowitz, Philip Schneider, Coast to Coast AM. Like I say, I want this to be true so bad. Speaking of, before I get Richard C. Hoagland, I want to talk about Richard C. Hoagland very soon on the show. I love Richard C. Hoagland. But anyway, I really want this to be true. I don't want the aliens to have permission to abduct humans, if you know what I mean, and kill them and secrete their secretions, and it's even been suggested that not only do they use human secretions and things like adrenaline for just as a means to survive, but they also use it for recreational purposes.
They get high.
Something like that, yeah.
I thought you were going to say lubrication.
And the thing about it is that Phil Schneider said there were 7 different species of alien races that live on this planet underground or in the oceans. I don't know if he said in the oceans, but I say in the oceans. And they, the majority of them are actually friendly or don't really care. And there's 2 of them that are just unbelievably hostile. And guess who? And it's sort of a caste system.
There's always a caste.
Always a caste system, yeah. No matter where you go in the universe. And as so many ufologists have said, the most sinister of all of the aliens, the reptilians. The evil reptilians.
I should have figured you were going to go Captain Kirk on us.
Yeah, exactly. So, oh my God. I remember that episode. That was pretty good.
Everyone remembers that episode.
Yeah, exactly. He even did like a commercial with, not too long ago, with that.
That whole setup?
That captain, the reptile captain, yeah. So, yeah, it's very, very interesting how the reptilians, do we even know of nice reptilians? You hear about reptiles, and they're doing things like
They're young.
they'll eat their young, but they'll end up devouring their owners too. Like you hear these stories about these people that have these usually guys that have these snakes and lizards and all these different sort of things, and they will die at their homes and they'll be discovered, weeks or sometimes months later, and their eyeballs are eaten out and their fingers are chewed off, and reptiles don't seem to have the same remorse, if remorse is a thing in the animal kingdom, which I think it may be.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Cats.
Yeah.
Cats do that too.
Yeah, cats will do that too, but I do think cats can have an affinity with their owners. I really do. But I also think that depends on the cat species. But yeah, I don't know. So, what do you think? What do we think?
Oh, well, I mean, if you really want my opinion, you can't trust felines, so, let's stick with dogs, people.
It's funny you say that, because if you think about it, feline, feminine, were those words? So yeah, you very well may be right about that. So, all right. So Ray Casper is calling again. This is a quick thing. Oh.
Why?
Yeah. So all right. Sorry. Okay. Go ahead, Ray. Go ahead, Ray. Thank you.
Not a very sociable group tonight, Andreas.
It's livening up.
Shut up, Andreas. I want you to listen to me for just a moment, all of you.
Go ahead.
You all will no doubt one day command your own ship. So let me spin you a situation, if you please.
Go ahead.
Hawkins?
Your ship is running in heavy seas. The shrouds are covered in ice and a gale is blowing. It becomes necessary, in your opinion, to order a seaman aloft. Now, he realizes, of course, that if his fingers slip from the icy shrouds in a split second, he will perish immediately. Immediately! Now, this is a typical seaman like you, Grimmhauser. Half-witted, wife-beating, habitual drunkard who spent his whole life evading and defying authority. Tell me, petty officer second class, what makes this man go aloft?
Gravity.
Zip it, Grimmhauser. I'll put it to you in one word and one word alone. Fear. Fear of a punishment so vivid in his mind that he fears it even more than certain death. Now,
Ray?
don't mistake me. I'm not advising cruelty or brutality without purpose, but cruelty with purpose is not cruelty at all, but efficiency. It's efficiency. A man will never disobey you unless he's watched his mate's backbone lay bare, and he'll remember those white ribs staring at him, and he'll see the jump of the flesh and hear the whistle of the whip for the rest of his life. For the rest of his life. So I ask you, Lieutenant Andreas, why would give me the phone.
Hello?
Give me the
Mr.
phone.
Andreas, my name is Dr. Mashovsky, and I'm over here at Belmont Hospital, and I just want to let you know that Ray Casper is safe and Ray Casper is sound. He's spending some time with us here in the hospital. Oh, Ray Casper he has been suffering for a long time, and he's just gonna spend a little bit of time here. And Ray Casper spends the majority of his day in the day room, and then he's let outside, and he can visit with some fellow patients, and he can enjoy the trees and the flowers and the chirping birds. And Ray Casper just needs a nice long rest, and Ray Casper is safe. I just want to let you know it. Obviously, Mr. Casper's saying some very reckless things, some very incoherent
You okay,
things.
Ray?
But we have Ray Casper on medication, and I think if he just gets a little bit of rest and in a confined space under supervision, Mr. Casper may be released in hopefully a month or two. So I hate to carry on and interrupt your radio show, but I just want you to know that he is in good hands, and hopefully he'll be able to be released, and he's accepting visitors, but only next to kin. And so I just want to let you know, give you a status and an update on Ray Casper, and I thank you so much for your time, Mr. Andreas. And I'd love to listen to your show, but I rarely listen to talk radio. So thank you very much, and good day. All right, Ray, try to relax.
His next to kin is like a pumpkin or something.
Graham cracker cookie, and I promised
Listen to
you,
him
and
next to kin.
Oh my god.
here's the phone.
Oh, hell no.
Ray. Settle down. Here's the phone. Say bye-bye.
Mr. Andreas,
Hey, Ray, are you okay?
I am commanding you, petty officer, second class, to contact the Admiralty immediately because Commander Casper has been kidnapped. I've been kidnapped.
He's a commander now?
I've been restrained against my will, and I've been probed. They held me down, and they injected me with something, some serum, and then they probed me like I was a turkey or a Halloween.
Or a pumpkin? Oh, yeah, I knew it.
I am commanding you to contact the Admiralty and facilitate my release from this house of butchers. They're butchers. I want to be released right now. I'm taking against my will, and I have to be let out of here right now. Right now. They kidnapped me. They're butchers. They're probing. Let me out of here.
Look. Ray. When a doctor does it, it's called a prostate exam, all right? We all have to do it someday. Guys, anyway.
You're still all a bunch of dickheads, but I can't take it.
See, that's what I get for even trying to reach out. Yeah.
He listed you as a member.
Yeah.
Is there something you want to tell us?
Why did he promote you and himself over me? That's just...
Well, thank you so much for tuning into the Erich Andreas Unexplained. If you could please like and subscribe and join us on this journey. And All right. Okay, I have to make a phone call, but thank you again. And I got to make a call, and we will see you the next time around. As once again, the 2 thumbs up and the peace out and the little birds. Poor Ray.
I hope he dies.
He was on meds.